This is the 7th grade basket clay bowl fusion tutorial for adding the basket parts, so the reeds, which you will need to add to finish up your project. So once you have made your clay bowl and you have fired it and then glazed it, whatever color that you would like it, make sure again that you have an odd number of holes. So I have a total of 7 here. If you don't have an odd number, it's not going to work out for the weaving part. So once the reeds have been soaking in water for about 10 minutes, that way they are more likely to bend without breaking. What you're going to want is, so I'm going to want 7 reeds total because I have 7 holes. You do not want your reeds shorter than 12 inches. So, and then you times that by 2 because we're going to end up folding it over. So a total of 6 inches can be the shortest. You can certainly go taller than that, but overall length would be 12. And then you would end up halving that to create the 6 total height. Okay, so you're going to need as many holes, as many reeds as you have holes. So I'm going to go through here, kind of pick them out. If you have really long reed here, like this one, make sure you start at the end, measure so the rest of them are the same length, cut it off, measure again. Any extra little pieces that are left can go back in the water unless they're really tiny. All right, so let's do this again here. So I need a total of 7. I want them all to be the same length. So I'm measuring them all out. And you want to do this right away. It's easier to measure them all out when they aren't together in your bowl, already sewed on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe one more. Okay, so I got 7 here. And you will need also a clothespin and some string. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your reeds, you're going to put it through your hole, line them up at the top to be the same height, and then you are going to pinch it really tight down towards the clay part of your bowl and put your paper clip there to hold it together. Your goal is to get it as tight as you possibly can so your reeds aren't falling all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to grab my string and I am going to wrap it around underneath, tie a knot, and it's going to be a really tight knot, as tight as you can. We're going to double knot it, if not triple knot it. Alright, make sure it's nice and tight. You can take off your clothespin, cut off the extra. I would leave a little extra string at the ends. If you cut too close to your knot, it'll more than likely end up coming untied on you, and that would be very frustrating. We're also going to tie the top ends together as well. Keeps it nice and easy when we start weaving, instead of having a bunch of reeds all over the place. We're going to double knot that as well. Okay, so you're going to do that all the way around your bowl. And your goal is to make sure that your reeds stand up nice and tall and straight on their own. Makes weaving lots easier. All right, once you have all your reeds on and you tie it at the bottom and the top, um, if you don't end up having time in that one whole class period to finish all of them, what I would suggest doing is grouping your reeds together and tying them together with a string that you will remember that are yours and they're going to need to be put back in the water. If you leave them out and come back the next day, they're going to be dry and you won't be able to bend them again. So once we have them all done, what you're going to do is grab another color, or you can use the same color, and you're going to find the end. You're going to tie that end to one of your sets of reeds here at the bottom. We're going to double knot it. Okay. Then from here is just like you would normally weave, so over, under, over, under. So right now I'm going to pretend that I went over this reed, the one that I tied to. So I'm going to go under the next one. Over, under, over, under, over. And when I come back to the start, I should be doing just the opposite. Now I'm going to go under that one and over this next one. So you're just going to keep going. And when you get back to the start, it should just continue, end up doing the opposite of how you started. You don't want to pull too hard, especially when you get towards the top, because what will end up happening is you might end up TPing the top, and you don't want to do that. You want to keep it out and straight up and down. So keep going over, under, over, under. So what will end up happening is kind of create almost like a star in the middle. If you run out of string, so I'm running out of string here, you can take another piece and tie them together and continue. You're going to need to fill your basket reeds up pretty high. So I'm going under, over, under, over. And I'm going to just keep going with that pattern and filling up and making my basket. So you're creating layers of your basket, and you're just going to keep going. As you get a first few layers on, it gets super easy, goes pretty fast, especially once you get the hang of it. I'm going to add some more here. You are more than welcome to also change colors as you go. You don't have to stick with the same color. I also have beads, if you would like to add beads as you go, just to give it a little splash of color, or just to add something a little bit different to your basket. So you're just going to keep going, keep going. You can certainly stop with a color. So once I run out of color here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop. I have extra here to tie it off. You're going to take from where you ended up stopping around that reed, and you're going to tie a knot there to that reed. So you're going to make that loop, pull it tight, make another loop from that extra string here, close the loop, and tie it tight. Then I can cut off that extra. I can change colors. So now I could go to blue, and I could leave a little bit of space here. So from my green, I could go up a little bit farther if I wanted a gap in my basket. So I'm tying it to one reed. I'm going to say this is over, so my next one is going to be under, over, under, and I'm going to keep going again, over, under. When I get back to the first one, I'm going to be doing just the opposite, over, under, and creating that star shape again. Don't forget, you don't want to pull too tight, because then you're going to end up bringing your reeds in. And you don't want that. Over, under, over, under. The more holes you have, so if you have more than 7, the less star shape you will get. The star shape you will get in the inside. So you won't have as much space between your holes. So then I could just keep going and have gaps in there of color if I wanted to. I could continue all the way up and have one solid basket of string. That is up to you. However, you can't stop here. You definitely need more than that. I would say you need at least half of your reeds filled with your yarn in order for you to get full credit. Okay? So, and then when you are finished, what you can do is go back if you need to. If some of these are a little bit too long, you can trim them off with your scissors, and then you can turn it in when you're done. So that's the basket part of the clay bowl fusion for 7th grade.